Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Drew and you're watching Drew the Theme Park Dude. And you are back for another video where I'm going to be talking all about my Legoland, Florida Spring Break 2021 trip. I went up there for one day, it was a weekday, and I went there for the entire day. I'm going to be sharing my entire experience from the park. Before we begin, it would mean a lot if you could right now go like and subscribe because I put in a lot of effort in these videos, and if you guys would like to see more of this content, it means a lot to me. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's begin the video. And if I'm talking a little bit low, it's because I have a lot of stuff going on right now outside my house, so I gotta be a little bit quiet, but other than that, we're all good. So, Legoland, Florida. Legoland, Florida is a resort located in Winter Haven, Florida, and it is decently sized. Its former home was Cypress Gardens, which was more of a garden than an amusement park, but it had a few rides, such as the wooden roller coaster, which is also known now as Coastersaurus. It also used to have the observation tower that used to be here at Legoland, Florida before it got removed due to it breaking down, and it would cost way too much to refix it, so they just got rid of it. But other than that, this park was practically built from the ground up. They still have parts of Cypress Gardens left in the back of the park by the Pirates Cove area, which is really neat to see if you ever get the chance. They have a few Lego models in there, but it's mainly just the garden. But then other than that, you have the entire park, which I would say is geared for kids ages 4 to maybe 13. You could stretch it to maybe 14, possibly 15, depending on what type of rides you like to do. But this is a family-targeted park. It's not your Universal, not really like where they have Hulk next to Dr. Seuss Land. This is strictly designed for kids and families, which there's nothing wrong with. It just, if they could build some other stuff for other kids, maybe more people would enjoy. Because I know Lego is any age type of group. Like, you can be 18 years old building the Death Star, or you could be 50, or you could be 3 years old building Duplos. Anything that works, you could do. But yeah, that's basically kind of what Lego is. But kind of getting off topic, I'm gonna start it off with basically what I did, because I was here for one day for about 5 hours, and I did get the fast pass because the lines were really long. And I did this the day before I actually went to the Busch Gardens video, where I had just posted the day before that video, which was about a week ago of when I recorded that, was actually the day before I went to here. So, you know, a little connectivity between the videos. But yeah, Legoland, Florida is a massive resort. It is definitely worth checking out, but I will get into my trip. So basically, we get there, we park, we get in. Takes a while to park, I will say, because the parking is the way it's structured is they can only allow so many cars in at a time. They do let you in, and I will say if you are under the age of 8, you do not have to wear a mask, which is something that I found a little bit interesting, because Disney it's like 3, Universal it's like 4, SeaWorld is like 4, you know. So to have Legoland be 8 is a little confusing, because I know an 8-year-old can wear a mask, but maybe it has to do with it being more of a kid-friendly park. I don't know, but I guess that's just how it is. But other than that, though, they were really great with restrictions. They made sure you wore a mask when you were in line or on a ride if you were over that age. You also socially distanced, which I will say the people here cooperated a lot more than they do normally. I like other theme parks. Like, they actually listened. They had set capacities on theaters. So I will say that they did do a great job with COVID protocols that they already had put in place. So that was a big determining point, you know, whether I was assigned to go, because I did hear about the mask thing before I went, and I was like, hey, I don't know. But it turns out we went on a weekday, so it wasn't really a lot of little kids. So there was a lot of people not wearing masks, and I will say some adults weren't either. But I will say that's like that everywhere, and here I will actually say is one of the better ones that people actually wear their masks at. But yeah, basically you have several rides and attractions. My favorite, personally, being the Lego Movie Masters of Flight, which is a flying theater attraction, which is really neat. It's a smaller flying theater, but it's really neat because you get to fly over all the Lego, I guess, worlds, and you get to be joined by Emmett, which isn't voiced by Chris Pratt for some odd reason, but you do get to be going through the entire, I guess, Lego movie, which is really neat. There's also a water ride in that area, which is a really great ride if you want to get cooled off. And there's also a kiddie drop tower themed to Unikitty. I will say I would have personally built a second tower, because that line gets super long, especially with COVID restrictions, where they have to do every other seat. If you have just parties of one, and it's only can run, I believe, 8 people at a time. So with COVID restrictions, you can only run like 4 to 5 kids at a time. So I will say, like in between parties, if you have a seat closed, I will say that probably would have been better if they could have built a second tower, but I understand why they can't because of space and all. Then if you keep going that way, you enter the medieval area of the park, which has the iconic ride, the Dragon, which is a great roller coaster. You go through a little story, and they have like a little nice little coaster area at the end. It's a really neat mix of dark ride and coaster with amazing coaster trains and Lego models throughout. Then you enter through Lego Duplo Valley, which I don't really spend a lot of time in. There's not really any rides in there except for a couple kiddie rides and playgrounds. But continuing through that area is the Lego Friends area, which I found the most intense ride in the park, which is a flying disc attraction, and it is themed to Lego Friends on a horse. So basically you sit down, kind of like how you would on Tron. I know it sounds weird, like where a thing comes up behind you on your back and staples you in your seat, and then you go back and forth and you go spinning around. That is the most intense ride in the entire park, and it is themed to Lego Friends. So that is something that I will say. But yeah, that's a little interesting. But then going through to Lego Technic, where you have the Great Lego Race, which formerly known as Project X, which is basically a large-scale Wild Mouse coaster, which I found is the best coaster in the park. I did because it has the biggest drop in the park, which I believe is like 60 feet. So, it's pretty big, though, for like a, Legoland-style park. And then going to another coaster is in the dinosaur area, or like World of Adventure, where you have the Lost Kingdom Adventure, which is a interactive dark ride, which is really neat. Uses a lot of animatronics, moving targets, really neat ride vehicles, and overall a great experience. One of my also favorite rides, but my personal second favorite ride is Lego Ninjago the Ride. This is an interactive dark ride, but you're not holding any guns. It's kind of like they predicted COVID or something, because they were able to make it so no one's touching anything, and you just move your hands as like the guns, almost like the sensors. And I love this ride personally. It's one of my favorites at the park, and it is really neat, especially if you get stuck on it towards the end, which you normally do if the trains are backed up. You can get like 200,000 points on this ride, which is a lot. So, it's a really neat ride. I definitely do recommend it. It is in an insanely good spot of the park. It's right after Coaster Source, which is the large-scale wooden coaster. And then on the other side, I believe, is Lego Technic. So it's in our Lego City, which we'll get to later. It's in a great spot in the park, and I definitely do recommend this attraction to anyone that visits. Now, continuing on our journey throughout the park, we enter back through the where Coaster Source is, which is one of the oldest rides. I believe it is now the oldest ride in the park. Really neat wooden coaster. And then you have a little mini drop tower called Beetle Bounce, which is basically just an old, or like, bouncer tower type of ride, I guess. Continuing is the last main land is Lego City, where you have boating school, flying school, fire academy, and flying school, and driving school, mini, and then big driving school. Flying school is your big, I believe it's a Vekoma invert. It's not, it's definitely family oriented, but it is pretty intense. I would say it's probably the most intense coaster in the park. It's not my favorite because it has a lot of headbanging going on. But, and it is also up by the entrance to the water park, which I was unable to go to that day because I just wanted to spend time at the park. But then continuing through, you have more or less more attractions. You get to get your little driver's license if you do the driving school and pay like $5. You get to eat ice cream there, And then you're going back to the center of the park where you see Miniland USA, which was closed when I was there just because they're adding new shade structures to it and new models, which is really neat. But I did get a couple pictures of it, which I probably will be including in this video, somewhere throughout this video. And just FYI, all the photos that you guys are seeing in this video were taken by me, so, just, if you want to use them, just comment down below and just make sure you give me credit or whatever. But then, continuing on, you just have the last final attraction back by the entrance is the Carousel, and then the 4D Funtown Theater, which ranges from 4 different films, which I found all to be really nice. I've seen them all over my visits, but I did see the one I didn't see this time, and I thought it was pretty good. And yeah, that's your Legoland Florida recap, basically, of the entire park. So what would I say about this park in review? And I guess to sum it all up, it is definitely a nice family-targeted park. I do recommend it if you are in the Florida area. It does have 3 hotels. It has Legoland Hotel, Pirate Island Hotel, and Legoland Beach Retreat. I would say if you are a big LEGO fan or even just have a big family and want to stay, I do recommend staying at one of those hotels. Because I've stayed at Legoland Hotel and Legoland Beach Retreat before. You have to stay at Pirate Island, but I did get to walk around in it when I was there. It was a pretty neat hotel. I'll probably do a whole video on that later. But I do recommend staying at one of the Legoland hotels just because it is really neat. The rooms, the lobby, the restaurants, the characters in the room, like in the areas, like the Lego models, the like just overall theming of the rooms. I do recommend if you're going to come to Legoland and you're planning, even if you're just staying there planning for a day, I would recommend going. Then maybe like staying at the hotel and then going to the park the next day, and then maybe driving back the next day. I don't know, but I'm just saying I do recommend staying at one of the hotels because they are definitely top tier Disney quality resorts. But yeah, that's basically my entire park review kind of summed up. It is I went on opening day 10 years ago to this park, and I've been here still. I've seen it grow. I saw the new stunt show, which was amazing, which is in the thumbnail over to the right, with like the Brooke Beard's Stunt Spectacular. Really did enjoy this park, and I do recommend it if you're in the area. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Gretchen, everyone. See ya. Bye.